guys, welcome back to another video where we will be going over the game week 24 games, then speaking about them and predicting them as well. Let's get into the video. So now we have Aston Villa versus Arsenal for the first game of game week 24. Let's start with Aston Villa. Aston Villa have been doing decent under Emery. Watkins has been scoring goals recently, so he's a threat. Aston Villa are in 11th in the Prem at the moment. In their last 5 games, they won 2, drew 1, and lost 2. And the 2 losses came from Leicester and Man City. Now onto the club I support, Arsenal. Arsenal have not been in the best form recently. In the game against Brentford, Trossard got his first goal for the club. Arsenal sit actually in second right now because today they lost against Man City 3-1. A player who has been great for them this season has been Saka and Odegaard, very special players. In the last 5 games, they have won 2, drew 2, and lost 1. And my prediction is going to be 3-1 Arsenal. Now Brentford versus Crystal Palace. I think this game will be a dominant one from Brentford. Speaking of Brentford, let's start with them. Brentford have been in great form recently. In the last 5 games, they have won 3 and got 2 draws, which leaves them unbeaten in those last 5 games. And they're in 8th place in the Premier League at the moment. And Tony is probably their best player and most important player on the team. On to Crystal Palace. The opponents, they haven't been in good form in the recent matches. In the last 5 games, they have 3 draws and 2 losses. So that means no wins in those past 5 games. Zaha and Eze didn't play in their last game. And Palace sit 12th in the league at the moment. So prediction-wise, I'm going to say 2-0 Brentford. Now Nottingham Forest versus City. This game has potential to be a great game. Let's start with Nottingham Forest. They've been in actually pretty good form in their recent games. In their last 5 games, they have won 3, drew 1, and have 1 loss. And players like Johnson and Gibbs-White have been great for them. And they sit 14th in the league at the moment. Let's switch over to Man City. Man City have been struggling this season a bit. They did play well against Villa and also Arsenal today. And in their last 5 games, they have won 4 and lost 1. They sit in first place right now in the league since they beat Arsenal today. And Haaland has been a monster for them. The guy just scores goals for fun. Such a dangerous player. And prediction is going to be 3-1 City. Everton versus Leeds. This will be a tight game in my opinion. Let's start with Everton. Everton surprised everyone with a 1-0 win against Arsenal. And apart from that, their form hasn't been too good. In the last 5 games, they have 1 win and 4 losses. They sit in 18th in the Premier League, and that's in the relegation zone. Let's switch over to Leeds. Leeds recently sacked their manager, Jesse Marsh, I think that was a good decision. They have been playing better. They showed some fight against Man U, and Leeds sit above Everton in 17th place with 19 points. In the last 5 games, they have 2 draws and 3 losses. So something needs to happen fast if they want to stay out of the relegation zone. So my prediction is going to be 2-1 Leeds. Wolves versus Bournemouth is the next game. I believe this game will be a more controlled game by Wolves. So speaking of them, let's start with them. Wolves have been in solid form recently. In the last 5 games, they have won 3, drew 1, and lost 1. They currently sit in 15th place, which is good considering they were in the relegation zone earlier this season, and they beat Liverpool 3-0 2 games ago, which was a huge surprise. Onto Bournemouth, the opponents, they haven't been in the best form recently. They've been struggling, honestly. In their last 5 games, they have 2 draws and 3 losses, so no wins for them as well in the last 5. And Bournemouth sit 19th place, which means they are in the relegation zone. And prediction-wise, I'm going to say 2-0 Wolves. Brighton versus Fulham. This will be a solid game between 2 mid-table sides who have been doing really well this season. Let's start with Brighton. Brighton have been great this season. The football they play is great to watch. Brighton are a team in 6th place at the moment in the league. Both Matoma and Marsh have been incredible this season. In the last 5 games, they have won 3 and drew 2, which leaves them unbeaten. And let's go to Fulham, the opponents. This is another side who plays great football. They sit below Brighton in 7th place. Polina and Mitrovic have been great players for the club. Fulham, in the last 5 games, have won 2, got 1 draw and 2 losses. And my prediction for this game is going to be a 1-1 draw between the two. Chelsea versus Southampton. I think we all know who's going to win this game, and I think Chelsea will dominate. Let's start with the Blues. Chelsea haven't been in the best form this season. In the last 5 games, they have 1 win, 3 draws, and a loss. Players who stood out last game were Felix and Enzo. Chelsea sit 10th in the Prem. Onto the Saints, who are the opponents. They have had a horrible season. Although they do play well at times, they do lose. They currently sit bottom of the league in 20th. In the last 5 games, they only won 1 and lost 4. And let's see if they could turn this around. So I'm going to say 2-0 Chelsea for my prediction. Newcastle versus Liverpool. Now this is going to be a huge game between the two sides. Let's start with Newcastle first. Newcastle have been absolutely incredible this season. They are the best defensive team in the league with 13 goals conceded. They currently sit in 4th place in the league, and in the last 5 games, they are unbeaten with 1 win and 4 draws. Bruno Guimaraes and Trippier are so important to the side. Onto Liverpool, the opponents. They haven't been in the best form recently. In their last 5 games, they have won 1, drew 1, and lost 3. And even a player like Mo Salah is struggling this season, which is crazy. And the whole team hasn't been good. Liverpool currently sit in 9th place in the Premier League. And Yakpo has been a player who has been struggling to get goals in the Prem. He scored his first goal this past week. And my prediction for this game is going to be 2-0 Newcastle. Man United versus Leicester. Honestly, this is going to be a very entertaining one to watch. So let's start off with Man U. Man U have been in really good form ever since Ten Hag came to the club. Man United in their last 5 games have won 2, drew 1, and lost 1. That loss was a 4-3-2 loss to Arsenal. And Rashford has been scoring and has been great form. Man United are in third place with 46 points at the moment. And let's hop over to Leicester. Leicester have picked up their form recently. In their last 5 games, they've won 2, drew 1, and lost 2. They did beat Tottenham 4-1 this weekend. That's a great result. A key player for the squad is James Maddison. He just makes a huge difference. And Leicester sit in 13th place in the league right now. And predictions-wise, I'm going to say 3-1 Man U. And the last game, Tottenham versus West Ham. This potentially could be a tight game between the two sides. Let's start with Tottenham. Tottenham's recent form has been okay, to be fair. The last 5 games, they've won 2 and they've lost 3. And a player who has been so consistent throughout the years has been Harry Kane. And we got the news that Bentancur is going to be out for the rest of the season. And he's a very important player to the team. And Tottenham sits in 5th place in the Prem at the moment. And let's jump over to West Ham. West Ham have picked up their form in their recent matches. In the last 5 games, they have won 1, drew 3, and lost 1, which isn't too bad. A player who has been getting back into his form has been Bowen, and the new signing Aguerd has been great for the club so far. West Ham sit in 16th in the Prem at the moment, and my prediction for this game is going to be 3-1 Tottenham. So thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to drop a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.